How often have you started something with excitement? A new fitness plan, a skill you wanted to master, or taking the first steps towards a long desired goal, only to find yourself losing momentum just a few weeks later. You're not alone. For many of us, the enthusiasm fades, leaving us frustrated and stuck, and even wondering why we started in the first place. But the truth is, consistency is a bridge. Consistency is a bridge between where you are now and where you want to end up. It's the secret ingredient that turns dreams into realities, small efforts into big achievements, and potential into progress. Without it, even the most ambitious goals will feel out of reach. But let's be real. Staying consistent is no easy task. In a world full of distractions, endless to-do lists, and unexpected challenges, how do you and I stay focused? How do we maintain the drive to keep showing up day after day, especially when the results don't show up right away or life gets in our way? The good news is consistency isn't about perfection or willpower alone. It's a skill that can be learned, nurtured, and ultimately treasured. It's about understanding why it matters, adopting practical strategies to keep you on track, and building those habits that keep moving you forward. So why does consistency hold such transformative power? Today, we're going to break it down and uncover the tools you need to make consistency your greatest strength. Imagine standing at the top of a snowy hill. You start with a tiny snowball and begin to roll it down the slope. At first, it seems small and almost insignificant, but as it rolls, it gathers more snow, becoming larger, stronger, and ultimately unstoppable. The snowball effect is an illustration as to how consistency compounds to create massive change in your life. The very same principles of the snowball effect apply to you and the actions that you take. In the beginning, each small step you take barely even feels like you're making a dent. But there's power in repetition. With repetition, those efforts begin to stack on top of each other, creating something extraordinary in our lives. It's the seemingly trivial moments. Writing a single paragraph each day, practicing scales on the piano, showing up for a 30-minute workout at the gym. These are the moments that eventually produce monumental results. But the problem with those moments is they are boring. And because they are boring, most of us tap out on the repetition that is required. The research showed that consistent, incremental efforts over time increase the likelihood of achieving goals. And the reason for this is because repetition not only builds familiarity, not only does it build skill, but it also rewires our brains. Neural pathways strengthen as you consistently perform an action, making it easier and more natural over time. What starts as effort becomes a habit, and what becomes a habit fuels lasting change in your life. But the beauty of all of this is repetition doesn't demand perfection. You don't have to sprint every day. You just have to take the next step forward. There's so much power in showing up. There's so much power in the quiet commitment to keep rolling the snowball even when your progress seems slow. So when faced with a daunting goal, I want you to remember, success isn't built in a single moment, but in the repetition of small actions day after day. If you don't quit, you win. Now, do I believe that you should never quit anything? No. Some things you should absolutely quit. But in terms of your goal and desire, when they are aligned with your values, if you don't quit, you win. And I've made this simple video to tell you, keep rolling your snowball, Because if you keep rolling the snowball, it's only a matter of time before it becomes unstoppable. Have you ever considered what's really happening in our brains when we commit to something over time? Neuroscience provides an incredible explanation. Every time you repeat an action, you strengthen the neural pathways connected to that action. Think of your brain as a forest. The first time you walk through a dense path of trees, it's hard. Branches snag your clothes and the ground is uneven. But with each journey, the trail itself becomes more visible. Over time, it's no longer a struggle to find your way because the path is well trodden and easy to follow. This is exactly how your habits are formed. Through repetition, you carve out clear neural paths in your brain. This process, known as neuroplasticity, is your brain's ability to adapt and reorganize itself by forming new connections. It's why something new, like exercising regularly or learning a new skill, feels difficult at first. Your brain is like, hey, we ain't used to doing this. You're forging a new trail where none existed before. You gotta make your way through the forest. And to make it through the forest, it requires effort and consistency because your brain is literally rewiring itself. But the encouraging part is, with consistent practice, those pathways become stronger and even more efficient at the end of the day. What once felt like a struggle, getting out of bed early, sticking to a daily routine, becomes automatic. And it doesn't stop there. Consistency creates a positive feedback loop that reinforces your habit. Example, you stick to a habit like going to the gym and you start seeing results, even small ones. See a little definition in your arm. All of that boosts your confidence. You begin to believe in your ability to pull this off. And that belief is the very motivation you needed to keep going and eventually achieve your goal. It's just that simple. Progress fuels motivation, and motivation fuels further progress. And eventually, the progress isn't just about habits, it's about transformation. By consistently repeating actions that are aligned with your goals, you're not only reshaping your brain, you're reshaping your identity. Each time you act, you're telling yourself, this is who I am. Over time, you begin to embody that very person. So when you feel like your efforts aren't making an immediate difference, remember, you're walking through the forest. Every step you take is clearing the path, it's strengthening your brain, and building momentum for your transformation. Now that we understand why consistency is so powerful, let's get down to the nitty-gritty and explore actionable strategies. Before I get into this, remember, building consistent habits doesn't have to be overwhelming. It's about starting small, staying intentional, and creating an environment that supports your goal. Strategy number 1, break it down. Somebody just started dancing. Not like that. Sit down before you hurt yourself. Big goals can feel intimidating, leaving you stuck before you begin. And the solution is breaking those big goals down into small, manageable steps. This shifts your focus from the daunting end result to the achievable action that you can take today. For example, if your goal is to write a book, do not aim at writing it all at once. Commit to writing 500 words a day, 1 chapter a week, maybe. These incremental steps not only allow you to not feel overwhelmed, but they participate in building your momentum. With each small milestone, you'll gain confidence and feel the momentum to keep going. Number 2, build a routine. Consistency thrives on structure. I would write that down. Consistency thrives on structure. When you create a routine, what you're really doing is you're eliminating decision fatigue and making the task just a natural part of your day. For example, if you want to read more, create a habit where you read 20 minutes before bed every night. If you're focusing on fitness, pick a specific time each day, like mornings before work, evenings after dinner, to complete your workouts. Having a set schedule trains your brain to expect these activities. Over time, that effort becomes a habit, and that habit becomes a lifestyle. Number 3, remove barriers. Sometimes the hardest part of consistency is simply getting started. Identify what is standing in your way and proactively eliminate those obstacles. If you struggle with time, treat your task as non-negotiable appointments. Block them on your calendar just as you would a work meeting or a visit to the doctor. If motivation is an issue, find an accountability partner, someone who will check in with you, encourage you, and help you to stay on track. Environmental adjustments can also make a big difference. If your goal is to eat healthier, prep your meals in advance. The reason we eat junk is often because junk food is easily accessible. So whatever your goal is, it is very important that you remove the friction that will make it easier for you to take action. Number 4, celebrate small wins. We talk about this a lot because it pertains to habits and establishing them. In pursuit of long-term goals, it's easy to overlook the power of small victories. But celebrating even the tiniest milestones is essential for maintaining motivation and building momentum. For example, you've finished your first consistent week of working out. Reward yourself with something meaningful, a favorite healthy treat, a relaxing evening, or even just acknowledging the effort. The celebrations do not have to be elaborate. That's not the point. The point is for them to reinforce your progress. Small wins are the gentle reminders that, hey, you're moving in the right direction. Keep going, baby. Keep going. You're going to get there. When it comes to building sustainable habits, we need to remember consistency isn't about chasing perfection. It's about staying committed to your goals, even through life's curveballs. Sustainable habits are built on flexibility, patience, and a willingness to keep going no matter what. In order to do this, we must first set realistic expectations. We live in a world of instant gratification, but true transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's funny because you will be on TikTok, RIP, but you would be scrolling on TikTok and maybe you see a fitness influencer and they're talking about their results. And you look in the comments and the very first question is, how long did it take you? And it's natural for you and me to want quick results. But if you're chasing a quick result, you're going to end up in disappointment every single time. Sustainable change takes time, effort, and persistence. And it's very important that you start by setting goals that fit your current capacity. I want to start my own business, so I'm going in tomorrow and I'm quitting my job. Maybe. But if you broke with a job, I don't know what's going on with me today. But if you broke with a job, what makes you think that you're not going to be broke without a job, right? So we have to train ourselves to have the big goal broken down and go step by step. Now, are there some people that just quit their job and had a successful business? 1,000%. But it didn't come without a lot of struggle and a lot of sweat equity. And I'm here to tell somebody that you can do both. I once heard Myron Golden say, there is nothing that'll force you to build your own thing faster than working a job that you can't stand. But it's all about having a plan. And when you set smaller attainable goals, you're more likely to stick with them and avoid the frustrations that come from aiming too high too soon. It's also important in building our consistency that we find support. No one succeeds alone. Having a support system can make the difference in building your habits. Get yourself a workout buddy. Get yourself a mentor, a close friend, accountability partner. These are the type of relationships that give you the gentle nudge when you need it. You shouldn't share your goals with everyone, as we talked about in this video, but you should definitely share it with someone who understands and supports your vision. You want to eat healthier? Cook meals together with a friend or a family member that is wanting to do the same. You want to grow in your personal growth? Subscribe to this channel. Join a community or network of like-minded individuals. All of this inspires you to stay on track. Support systems aren't just about accountability. They're about celebrating your wins and reminding you of your potential when doubt creeps in. One of the things that we need to acknowledge is the simple fact that setbacks are inevitable. Life gets messy, schedules change, and sometimes motivation wanes. The key to consistency isn't in avoiding setbacks, it's in choosing the right response. When you miss a day, when you skip a workout, or fall short of your intended plans, resist the urge to beat yourself up. Reflect and recalibrate. Ask yourself, all right, what caused this setback? What adjustments can I make to avoid this in the future? How can I set myself up for success tomorrow so this doesn't happen again? Every setback is temporary and fixable. Consistency is a journey and it's rarely a straight line. Your paths will have twists, it will have turns, it might have detours, but as long as you keep moving forward, you will get to where you want to be. Let me leave you with this. Consistency is the foundation for lasting change and success. And the beauty of consistency lies in its simplicity. Whether it's working on a big goal or improving a bad habit, showing up regularly is what is required to move the needle. And with that, I want to encourage you to take action today. Change does not have to start with a dramatic overhaul of your entire life. It starts with one small, consistent step. So what's one of the actions that you can commit to today? Commit to it, all the while knowing that consistency requires you to trust the process. The science behind consistency is simple, but the very impact is profound. So commit to the power of showing up, no matter how small the action seems. Trust that every step forward you take is moving you to something greater. Your journey to success starts here. Keep moving forward and watch your life transform in ways that you never thought was possible. Always remember that growth is a journey. It's not a destination. I'm in it with you, and I'll see you on the next one.